All right, guys, thank you. We are ready, and I've just begun recording the call. So thank you so much for joining us for our Zoom call tonight to learn about Plexus and some of our favorite and most basic Plexus products. Glad to have you guys on the call tonight. Please use the chat. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that in Zoom, but if you click the chat on the bottom, we can see any comments or questions you might have in the side, and we can make sure that we address those. Just doing that real quickly. All right, I can see it. So my name is Cherstyn Stockwell. I am now an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus. I've been using the Plexus products for 4 years, almost exactly now. And I'm going to be hosting the call tonight, as well as starting off with a little bit of information, my own testimonial, and a few of the basic products. And then we also have Sarah Hyde, Brittany Ferdner, and Jessika Wagner on the call tonight to share as well. So again, please be interactive in the comments. We're also going to do 3 different giveaways of 3 sticks of Slim. If you are someone who already uses Slim, feel free to keep them for yourselves or to share them with interested people. And when we do the drawings in between each of our segments, we'll just have to reach out to the winners and get your mailing address to get that off to you. So, okay, so like I said, my name is Cherstyn Stockwell, and I'll start just quickly with my own kind of health story and how I got here. I'm going to do it pretty briefly because we want to keep this call to 30 minutes. But for me, my complaints began very young. Some of you may relate to migraine headaches. I had at the time what they called severe complicated migraine, and that began really young, junior high. A few years later, I had really, really horrific problems with my cycle, with my period. And I always have to overstate that I don't just mean cramps. I would get a fever every month. I would throw up every month. So I had prescriptions for my migraines. Now I saw a specialist for my monthly pain and my nausea. And then a few years after that, my thyroid was diagnosed hypothyroid, so Hashimoto's. My thyroid was also full of nodules. I was very autoimmune, had 2 more prescriptions for my thyroid, 2 to 3 from time to time. They kept having to test different things. And then I also just had other issues that I just thought were what you dealt with, what you had to live with, what was perhaps just normal because they seemed common. For example, really horrific sinus allergies, sinusitis all the time, and then seasonal allergies that were just debilitating. I noticed as time went on that my body stopped responding to any medicine for sinus problems or allergies. Skin issues all the time, adult cystic acne, eczema, allergic reactions in the skin all the time. Back then, I would go on 6-month stints of antibiotics for my acne, which today, of course, makes me cringe, but it's what they did back then. And I just considered myself super obedient and stayed on top of all my doctor's appointments and did what they told me to relieve symptoms. I always had sleep issues, really, really severe sleep issues all the time. I needed a nap or caffeine or sugar each day. If I fell asleep just fine in the evening, anything that awakened me in the night, whether it be having to go to the bathroom or maybe, a siren going by, if anything awakened me in the night, I could not return to sleep for hours. And that was super frustrating. I had really, really severe sugar cravings, and more than just a sweet tooth. It was something that I literally planned into my life. And I had that every day. I'm so sorry. My daughter just came down here. I am so sorry. That is real life, you guys. She's 4 and she's not supposed to be down here. So hopefully daddy's going to come running and scoop her away while I finish my call. So I'm so sorry. I muted you while I screamed at my husband. Are you glad I did that? Hopefully you all are laughing and slightly can relate. Okay, back to my sugar cravings. So my cravings were so severe that it was every single day. And I don't just mean like some M&Ms or something. It was like a brownie sundae, like something every single day. I thought that I just had a sweet tooth. I didn't know how much that was feeding into all of my ailments. I had really severe fertility problems and female problems, cystic ovaries, endometriosis, early menopause at 33. Gosh, I could go on and on about that. Foggy brain, anxiety, all of that. Hang on one second. I am so sorry, you guys. And this is being recorded, so hopefully you know this is just real life. let's see. So at one point for a long time, I probably had about 12 different prescriptions, sometimes more, but a steady amount would be about 12 prescriptions at any given time of my life to deal with pain of migraines, my cycles, skin issues, all of those things. And that was normal. Thank you, Lacey, for telling me I'm in a safe place. You get it. I need the support. So I handled all of that for as well as I could for a long time. And I had a really dear friend who kind of saw what I did, how diligent I was, how often I was getting my labs drawn, all those things. And she just always encouraged me to go see her mom, who was a doctor. But I lived in Washington, D.C., and her mom was here in Utah, and I never had the opportunity to make that happen. So she told me that when I was 22. When I was 35, I finally moved here. And this doctor truly, truly changed my life. I would call that my first kind of game changer, because she taught me what was really going on in my body, and that all of my symptoms, all of my ailments, all of my complaints were linked to each other, and that she felt that they were reversible. And I was super skeptical, because I had been to specialists my whole life and no one had ever told me that. No one had ever said that to me. So, okay. So I asked her, what to do. And she explained these underlying root causes of all of our illnesses, and that there's really 3 basic root causes, and most things are covered by those root causes with very few exceptions. So I said, what are these, root causes? And she taught me about inflammation and blood sugar and gut health. And this was back in 2006. And I remember clear as day, she was learning and reading all the studies and kind of following on all the science on healing versus handling symptoms with medication or over-the-counter medicines. So she taught me about, first, when she taught me about my gut, she explained that when you think of gut health or healthy bacteria that is needed, we often think about probiotics. And she was really clear that you have to be careful, because for one, yes, of course we need supplements, but we should be having a diet that is healthy as well as supplementation. The problem with supplements is that the majority of supplements on the market never made it to the gut, and certainly we're not making it to our cells. So if you have poor supplements, you're probably not feeling any change, which had been my experience. With quality supplements that actually make it to the gut and to the cells, you should feel change. So she explained that to me. She put me on a couple of different choices of probiotics. And she also explained to me that you cannot just populate good bacteria, but you must detox bad bacteria overgrowth. And told me a statistic that more than 80% of the population is walking around with severe bad bacteria overgrowth. So she gave me this one product to help me get rid of the bad bacteria. The probiotics were separate from that, and that was kind of my gut health regimen. When she moved on to the next root cause, which she talked about my blood sugar, insulin, glucose levels, she explained to me that there were, again, plant-based supplements that would help regulate the glucose in our body and the insulin levels in our body. And she taught me all about insulin being the dominant hormone. And what that means is that all other hormones copy it. It's like follow the leader. So if my insulin was spiking and crashing all day long, which it was, especially with my intense sugar cravings, which came from my gut, then all other hormones, like my estrogen, like my thyroid, were copying it, and they could not regulate. They were spiking and crashing all day long. And she explained to me that my body did not want to be in menopause in my early 30s. My thyroid was trying so hard to regulate all day long. But if I didn't handle my insulin, I would not have success. I would continue being medically dependent, depend on medication. So she put me on all these different, again, supplements, and they included things like chromium and alpha lipoic acid and such things every single day. I was kind of snippy with her, and I'm sure Jessica on this call, who's a doctor, will probably laugh, but I kind of said, well, what's the point of going from 12 different prescriptions to the same or more of vitamins? I'm still taking a pile of pills every day, and she actually really liked the question. She said, that's a very good question, but just remember that medicines might help you with your symptom, but they do tear up the gut. So that same medication that's getting you through that day's migraine is also going to be perpetuating the fact that you'll have migraines indefinitely. Very counterintuitive. She said, if you heal with nutrients, if you give your body the missing nutrients, then you reverse and you don't have the symptom anymore. So for me, I was taking a bunch of pills anyway. I was happy to try. At 35 at this point, I had been sick for so long and so autoimmune and so tired of my symptoms. that I was willing to try. So I did it, and it completely worked. This is 9 years before Plexus. I did her regimen for 9 years. I'm very, very grateful for my story in that it's not necessarily a Plexus story. The science was taught to me before I ever switched to a different brand or a different manufacturer. So if you fast forward 9 years to 2016, my dear friend Brooke Hemingway, who introduced Plexus products to me, talked to me, this is a perfect segue for the products I'm going to be sharing tonight, about this probiotic called Probio 5. And she told me, she said, you have to switch probiotics. She knew what I did. She knew my regimen. And I was super, super skeptical. And I just said, Brooke, why would I do that? I don't want to rock the boat. For the first time in my life, I am off of my medications. I am symptom free. I went on to have 2 healthy children after being told I was completely infertile. I did not have any skin issues anymore. My migraines that were 3 to 5 migraines a week went down to 1 to 2 migraines a year. Why would I mess with my regimen? I was really, really afraid. But she said something that really got me. She said, this probiotic does everything that you're doing in all of those separate steps. It populates healthy bacteria strains with those healthy bacteria colonies, populate healthy bacteria colonies with the healthy strains, as well as detoxes the bad bacteria overgrowth. And she knew that I was doing the 2 different systems. And she said, it's in the same capsule. Both of those things happen in the same capsule. So that totally got my attention. And I told her I would try it. I said, I'll know in about a week. My foggy brain will come back. I'll have anxious feelings, my skin, my period. I mean, I will know within a week. And the only reason that I will say that Probio 5 was better than what I had done for 9 years is not because it had something separate than what I was taking. It's because they blended everything. It made my life so much easier. I didn't have to do all of these steps. I wasn't setting an alarm on my phone to remember when to drink the drink for, the detox of the bad bacteria and when to take my probiotics. It was so easy because it was convenient. I could be more consistent for life. Consistency is so important if you want to heal. If you eat food every day, you need gut support and blood sugar support every time you eat food, period. On my other regimen, I couldn't take it with me on business trips. It was grueling. It was so many steps. It was so hard. I had to be kind of in the perfect day-to-day life at home to follow that regimen. This was now easy. I could be so consistent without even a thought. So Probio 5 is the first product I'm going to talk about tonight because, again, it replaced my probiotic and it also detoxed the bad bacteria overgrowth. So it is an enzyme and probiotic blend, and the ability to get rid of the bad bacteria overgrowth and the bad fungus comes from an enzyme called chitosanase that cracks the outer shell of this bad bacteria. So if you imagine like a beetle or a shrimp, something with a hard exoskeleton, it's really, really hard to crack that and therefore can be tough to detox it. But chitosanase is a wonderful ingredient in Probio 5 that does break open that shell. And then grapeseed extract, one of my favorite antifungals, so natural and so effective, can then seep in and detox it. And the reason why I know that it works is because my symptoms completely, you don't have them anymore. If you were to look up for yourself symptoms of bad bacteria overgrowth or gut dysbiosis in your gut, you will see a whole list of things. Like I shared, I was very textbook, the foggy brain, so many issues. I didn't have those when I gave my body the nutrients that were missing. So Probio 5 is like the whole reason everything for me is because of Probio 5. I switched. The second product I'm talking about tonight is BioCleanse. BioCleanse is the magnesium supplement that Plexus sells. I don't know how many of you know a lot about magnesium, but you should never, ever do anything with the gut or nutrition without magnesium. Every cell in the body needs magnesium to function. And the nutritions that we eat are carried to our cells by magnesium. Magnesium, though, almost most importantly, helps to keep us moving. It keeps us going to the bathroom. I joke and say it takes out the trash for us. So all the work that Probio 5 does is then carried out to the garbage or the toilet by magnesium. I've taken magnesium for years. This is a fantastic magnesium supplement. It's blended with vitamin C, so it makes it magnesium ascorbate, a daily gentle magnesium that keeps things moving in a gentle way while you're detoxing, and then maintenance, because every day we still breathe in toxins and pollutants and don't have a perfect diet. Sometimes we eat road food on a road trip. Life isn't perfect. You definitely need daily cleansing in a healthy, natural way. So these two should always go hand in hand. And the third product I'm talking about tonight is our blood sugar regulating drink called Slim. These products together make what's called Triplex. Triplex handles these three underlying root causes: the gut health, the blood sugar balance, and as you will come to learn, when you handle those two, most times inflammation will naturally come down for you. There are some exceptions. For example, my mom has really severe rheumatoid arthritis. She does take additional inflammation support like turmeric blends, things like that. We can talk more about that when Jessika introduces her products tonight. But this system is the basic system. It's fundamental. So Slim is what the product you would take for blood sugar regulation, glucose metabolism. It's a fantastic product. It's got chromium, chlorogenic acid, alpha-lipoic acid, Garcinia cambogia, many well-proven, well-documented blood sugar balancers all in one drink. So this replaced 7 different pills that I used to take. I now just take this one drink. The other thing to really know that's important about chromium is that the recommendation daily for chromium is only 30 or 40 micrograms, but we need more like between 100 and 600 micrograms. Slim knows that. 200 micrograms in one stick of Slim. So that, if you want to just research chromium, it's an amazing nutrient, and there's plenty of it in this product. So that helps with so many things. Insulin balance, like I said, is a master hormone. You would never want to skip this product if you have any issues with your hormones like I did. So that's Triplex, and that's my testimonial. I'm sorry if I went too fast. We're trying to keep this to half an hour, and I feel like I was speed talking. Please put any questions in the comments. And I'm going to now turn the time over to Brittany, who's also on my team. She's going to share her testimonial, and then after Brittany, we'll do our first giveaway of 3 sticks of Slim. Okay, Brittany, take it away. Can you unmute yourself? You got it. Okay.
You guys hear me okay? So my name is Brittany. I have been on these products consistently since last August, and Cherstyn's actually the one that helped me to get started. So my story started after my 6-year-old was born. I had a C-section, and after my C-section, for the first time, I had gut issues. And I remember telling my OB, I think that antibiotic did something to my body. Like my gut I haven't been since my C-section. And I remember him being like, no, just Ancef, like it's not that. But that was kind of where I first started learning about gut health and trying just anything that I could do to feel better. And, I got on a regimen to detox and balance the gut. I did things for inflammation, but I still, a couple $1,000s later, I still felt like crap. And a couple years later, that's when I first came across Cherstyn. She had done some posts about Plexus, and I reached out to her and I just asked her about it. I still felt horrible. And the part that was missing for me, I felt like what Plexus did is it took everything I had been learning separately and it just tied it all together. Like I knew about gut health. I had done my own research on that and how that was such a key part to our overall health. I knew about inflammation, how that tied to our health. But the missing piece to me was the blood sugar portion. I knew about it from my nursing background. I'm a registered nurse, but I never realized just how all those pieces connect. You can't just treat one without addressing all of those 3 root causes. So it was last August that I started for the first time. I had actually started earlier, but I wasn't consistent. And I remember thinking, these products don't work. I'm not feeling any better. So it was last August, but I've been consistent. So 9 months. And, things that went away right away, I noticed my sugar cravings. I didn't realize how I had formed this lifestyle around sugar, because once the cravings went away, I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? We go get treats every day. My sugar cravings went away. My energy, I had no energy. And all of a sudden doesn't matter how much sleep I get at night. I just go all day. I don't have that midday crash. My sleep is more sound. And the thing that I just noticed the last month, so last August, I told my husband and I admitted to myself for the first time that, after my 3-year-old twins were born, I had this mild sadness that just lingered, for those 3 years, and it's gone. It is completely gone. And the thing that I realized is, with natural healing, if I would have stopped the first time, the first round, those first few months, I would have been like, oh, this doesn't work. Root healing doesn't work. But the consistency, August on, where I've been so consistent, 8 months in, like all those things I wouldn't have been able to take benefit of if I would have stopped. So anyway, I just am so grateful that I found the missing links to my healing. So anyway.
Thank you so much, Brittany. I love her story. I appreciate any story of someone who's actually studied the body and is in the medical field, because they're so willing to learn and be alert. And her story has always been so motivating for me. Brittany, did you have a chance to look over the group and pick somebody to do the first drawing? If you didn't, we can do it after Jessika.
Who am I supposed to pick? Does anyone?
Anybody. You literally can just go like this to screen and point and pick a winner. But if you want to do it,
Michelle's iPhone.
Michelle's iPhone. Okay, Michelle, will you please text us in the comments or privately message Brittany in the comments your address, and we will get you 3 sticks of Slim. Congratulations. Nice work. Okay, we now get to hear from resident pediatrician Jessika Wagner. She is a dear, dear friend. Her Plexus story I could hear over and over again, and we are so lucky to have her on our call tonight. So Jessika, take it away.
I'm muted. Okay, pardon my amazing look here today. This is me. I walked in the door from work at 6:50, and dinner was just coming out of the oven. And I have 4 children, and my husband walked out the door as soon as I walked in to go to a meeting. So I just gave my kids dinner in record time, so my camera wasn't on. And this is my work hair in COVID, because I have to wear the mask and the face shield all day, so no makeup. It's just lovely. So anyway, you get the real me. But that's how we roll around here. So if any of you are concerned about our community and if you'll fit in, we got all comers here, and we love you all. So my background, I am a pediatrician. I'm also a mom of 4 little kids who you'll probably hear at some point in time while I'm talking. And I am a wife of a really amazing man who made dinner tonight, even though it was late. So I started getting interested in gut health probably in like 2012 to 14-ish. I finished medical school in 2007 and did not learn much about gut health then, because it just wasn't a thing back then very much. Like, there were a few people on the fringes of Western medicine into alternative medicine, like Cher's doctor, who were really learning that. But in mainstream medicine, it was just not a thing. So over the past 5 to 10 years, the medical research, though, on gut health and the impact that the gut has on everything else has like exploded. So there's new articles in medical journals every month now about how something in the gut microbiome impacts some other aspect of health, like lipid regulation, weight management, mood, blood sugar regulation, skin issues, autoimmunity, immune health, like honestly, hormones, you name it, the gut is connected to it. And so I started learning about this because I have a husband and a son with celiac disease, and I have 2 kids with really significant food allergies. And so that's where my interest in gut health came. And I started attending continuing medical education courses in it and those type of things, and started learning a lot about the gut. For myself, I carried no medical diagnoses. I was healthy, right? But over time, I was just getting continuously more exhausted. I was so tired all the time. I literally just thought I was going to be tired for the rest of my life, but I chalked that up to I'm getting older. I have 4 little kids. I work a full-time job. I just am tired. But it took forever to fall asleep. I woke up several times in the night and took forever to fall back asleep. And pretty much during the daytime, I just lived on sugar to stay awake. Soda, coffee, like none of that was my vice. My vice was candy. So I literally just ate candy all day in between patients to stay awake. And as we learned from Cher, that is not great. So not a good idea, because all that's doing is feeding the candida. So I gained 10 pounds in between each child. That didn't go away. So I was overweight, super backed up, and using daily stool softeners just to try to like pass a break. And so that was where I was, and learning about gut health. And I was like, man, I got to do something. So I started taking probiotics, magnesium, vitamin D, multivitamins, all that I was getting from like Walmart or Costco, because I'm cheap. and nothing was happening. So I was introduced to Plexus in about this time, 2016. And so 4 years ago now. And when I started looking at the products, I was blown away. So just like Cher, I was so drawn to the science behind these products, because seriously, Plexus has done just such an amazing job of putting the right ingredients in the right package to give you what your body needs. And I love Cherstyn's explanation of all of that today. It was so eloquent. So for me, that's what I was drawn to. So I started on those 3 products that Cherstyn told you about, and within 1 week, my sugar cravings disappeared, and I stopped getting in my candy cabinet 20 times a day. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then within a week, I got off my daily stool softeners, haven't taken one since in 4 years, and go way better than I ever did before. And then over the first 3 months, my sleep improved, my mood improved. I didn't realize I had a mood issue until it went away. And I just had more energy. I lost 12 pounds the first 3 months. And I just came alive again in a way that I hadn't felt in decades. So it just was a really huge blessing to me. And at that point in time, I mean, I spent those 3 months too, like digging into these products, learning every ingredient, learning what everything did, so that I knew exactly what was going in my body. I started when my baby was 5 weeks old. I was nursing. And of course, as a pediatrician, I wanted to make sure what I put in my body was safe, which is kind of ironic that I was concerned about supplements, and yet I was not concerned at all about the amount of sugar and processed food I was consuming. Ironic, right? So that's also my little tip to you, is that just because the FDA says it's okay, it's not mean it's okay. There's a lot of garbage out there that's not good for your body. But what we have is ingredients, is things that your body is missing and are impossible to get in a modern American diet, even if you eat really clean and all organic, because we've leached minerals out of our soil. We've just gotten rid of all of that. So you've got to put back into your body what it needs to function correctly. And when you do that, things get better. Okay, so I saw a question pop up in the comments while I was talking about sensitive stomach. Okay, so really quickly about that, we have lots of people who start these products who are like, oh, I can't take vitamins because they make me sick, or they take it the first time and then they like feel yucky and they get really nervous. So we have some tools that can help with that. One, your coach is going to help you start slowly and in the right order to heal your gut first before you start putting in too much of the other stuff. So one of the biggest tools that we have to decrease inflammation is a product called Ease. And Cherstyn alluded to this one when she was talking about her mom. So Ease is a natural anti-inflammatory. It's green-lipped mussel, so it does have a mussel in it. If you have any allergic to clams and those type of things, you won't want this product. But for everybody else, it has green-lipped mussel, turmeric, serrapeptase, and bromelain. Basically, it's smashed up food, highly anti-inflammatory foods, in a capsule. It's not a man-made compound like ibuprofen, and so it's actually really kind to your gut, and it helps heal your gut, as well as the daily aches and pains of life, chronic pain symptoms, things like that. So of course we would never claim to diagnose, treat, or cure any medical conditions, because that's not what we do. We just know we address root causes and things magically get better, right? I'm supposed to do that disclaimer so you all know. So that is Ease. And then the other one, especially for sensitive tummies and for people with IBS, this is a second probiotic, Vital Biome. So this is a sister product to ProBio 5, and it doesn't replace ProBio 5, but some people take it in addition to ProBio 5 when they have issues like anxiety, stress, IBS, immune issues, and inflammatory conditions. Because there are 8 strains of probiotic in this one. No digestive enzymes like ProBio 5. This one's more of a traditional probiotic, but the strains that are in here were hand selected because they have clinical studies that demonstrate that they help one of those problems: anxiety, stress, IBS, inflammation, and immune conditions. So I take this because I, as a pediatrician, am obviously exposed to germs like nonstop because I work in a snot factory. So, and I live in one with 4 little kids, although my kids are pretty healthy, so we're good. But that's why I take this. But I know a lot of people who take this because they wanted to get off their anxiety or depression medicines. And for some of them, taking this product has allowed them to decrease their medication. Certainly, we always advise people to work with their physician to wean those medications. Please do not try to do it yourself, and do not stop your medications cold turkey. Please don't do that, okay? But this might help. This might help make it so that you don't need as much of that medication anymore. And I know hundreds of people that have that story. So I'm going to go through 2 more products really quickly. I know we're at the half-hour mark, and we're going to wrap this up quick. But we want to hear Sarah's story, so stick around. Mega X is this is a plant-based omega blend. So omegas are really good for inflammation. They're really good for brain health and heart health. And so they're going to help with so many different areas. Honestly, the American Heart Association recommends that every adult over the age of 30 take an omega. And so a lot of people take fish oil, but this is a plant-based one, so no fish burps, and it's a full omega complement. So it has 3, 6, 9, 5, and 7 in it, not just omega-3. But this is awesome for people that have sleep issues or headaches or any kind of inflammation issues or have a heart or a brain. X Factor Plus. Cherstyn's laughing at me. You guys, I had a really crazy day in the clinic today, and so I might be a little touch snarky. I'm sorry. X Factor Plus is the last product we're going to cover tonight, and this is the best multivitamin you will find. The best right here. It is fully methylated, which means it's absorbable by anyone, even people with a gene defect in the MTHFR gene, which makes you have the ability to methylate vitamins. So everyone can absorb this. It has a patented aloe blend in it, which actually heals the lining of your gut and increases absorption of nutrients from your supplements and your diet by 300%. Okay, so when you, 1 minute, I'm on a call. When you improve absorption of nutrients, everything's gonna get better, right? You can actually absorb those nutrients and use them instead of them going right through you. So as you're getting rid of candida yeast with ProBio 5, this is gonna go in and heal the inflammation left over, okay? So the combo is just amazing. So I have to put one plug into for our kids vitamin. Hey, choose respect. Walk away right now. I should mute myself like Cherstyn did. Oh. Apparently my 4-year-old just wet her pants, so we're gonna make this quick. So what was I gonna say? My brain just went completely blank. Maybe I should just pass it to Sarah because I have an issue I have to go address.
But you were
guys,
talking
basically
about
what I want to tell you.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
What was I saying, Cher?
You're just on X Factor Plus, but you're good. Keep going.
Okay. Oh, I was going to tell you about X Factor Kids. As a pediatrician, I'm telling you, X Factor Kids is hands down the best multivitamin on the market. It is multivitamin plus probiotic, has 5 strains of probiotic in it. Okay. You will not find a product like it on the market. It's fully methylated, which means everyone can absorb it. There's no sugar, no corn syrup, no artificial sweeteners, no artificial colors, no artificial anything. Best thing you can put in your child's body. That's coming from a pediatrician. Tapping out.
Jessika, did you think of a contest winner yet, or do you want me to do it for you?
Oh, you know what? Can you do that so I can go address this issue?
I gotcha. You go help.
Love you.
Thank you, Jessika. Love
Okay,
you.
bye.
Okay, let's pick Christina's iPhone. All right, Christina's iPhone. You can private message me in the chat and send me your address and also who's told you about this call tonight. So I'm going to write you down right now. Okay, so now we're going to hear from Sarah Hyde and hear her testimonial, and then we will wrap this up. And again, keep the comments going, we can help address Sarah. Sarah, take it away.
Hey guys, I'm excited to do this tonight. I have actually only been taking Plexus since November, and I'll just give you a little backstory. I am actually similar to Brittany. I have been on a gut health journey for about 7 years now, and I have learned so much. I've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on doctors and on mentors and on classes and on a whole bunch of different things. And I've learned tons of stuff, and I've taken bits of everybody and brought it to my healing journey, and it's helped me. I've been able to get off of all antidepressants, all anti-anxiety, all sleeping pills, and all I was taking Xanax 3 times a day. It was pretty crazy. And I did that with trying to heal my gut. But like her, like Cherstyn, my regimen was super hard to be consistent. It was really difficult, and I had to do it. Like, I had to have those perfect days at home where it was like I had the perfect day that I could just do everything that was on my list to do. And so when I found Plexus, I was amazed at how easy it was going to be, and I was super stoked and excited about it being easier and it being in 3 different products. So I'll just tell you how much money I was spending $380 a month on other supplements before I started Plexus. And now I actually get my products paid for, which is awesome. So I don't spend a penny on my product at all every month. And so I am amazed at how awesome they've worked for me. And the one component that I actually wasn't working on was the balance of my blood sugar. That one was one of those things that was one of the missing puzzle pieces that I really needed. And so that has totally helped me. I've gotten off, I was taking melatonin before, and I'm totally off of melatonin. And my mood has actually improved more. My confidence, that's one thing that I was very shocked that my confidence has totally gone through the roof. I'm way more confident now, and I really haven't done much, just feel better. And when you feel better, you're just happier. And then, so it's helped me with fibromyalgia pain. It's helped me with back pain, not having to go to the chiropractors often. It's helped me with sleep. It's helped me with anxiety. Like, even when I was on my other regimen, I would still get anxious. Like, every time at dinner time, I was always an anxious mess because I was like trying to do homework and trying to get, dinner ready. And I don't struggle with that anymore. I totally have felt the help with the anxiety in that area. I feel like I'm a lot more laid back and I'm a lot more happy. And I just want to really just say I have all my family on it, and my husband, who struggled with colitis, is dosing down on his antidepressants and down on his colitis meds and is feeling awesome. And he's a new man because he's so much happier, and he's just the man I married 20 years ago because he's not anxious and worried anymore. And then my daughter, that was very suicidal at age 7, she has totally made a turnaround, and she takes the triplex and she takes the children's vitamin, and she has made a difference. It's made a difference in her life. My son, that's 15, that has skin issues, we started him about 3 weeks ago, and we're noticing that his skin is clearing up. He is like, I can't believe how much energy I have, Mom. I don't know where all this is coming from. And my family just is all just harmoniously getting together and just getting along, and it's helped our whole family to just be nicer and happier and kinder, and it's helped us all. So that's my story, and I am going to pick a winner. I'm going to pick Galaxy S9. Whoever is Galaxy S9, you can either message Cherstyn or you can message me.
And do it a little bit soon because we're going to wrap up the call. So I'll watch for it really quickly. Thank you so much for your testimonial, Sarah, and Brittany for yours as well. Testimonials, honestly, guys, are what keeps us going. We have, of course, our own stories and our own kids, but it's always so rewarding and filling of my personal cup to hear it from other people, and just renews my belief all along. That's partially why I chose to share it. Never in a million years did I think I would ever share a product. I thought I would just take it or give it to my family. But when I learned what I learned, it was really hard not to help out other tired mamas and, so many other people. So thank you so much for coming. Please stay in touch with the person who invited you to this call. I still haven't seen Galaxy S9's address in the side. So Galaxy S9, if you could please tell the person who sent you to this call that you won 3 sticks of Slim, they will get in touch with me and I'll get that off in the mail tomorrow. And thank you so much. I'm going to turn off the record button now. Thanks, you guys. Have a great evening.